Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another session of Free to Heal. And tonight we are blessed to have facilitator Terrell E. Tillman. He's going to facilitate tonight, which is great because that means I get to chill out a little bit, okay, and let y'all do all the talking or chime in just when I feel like it. Da 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 da. Terrell, there you go. What we're going to talk about tonight? We're going to take something from his book. So talk to me.
Tonight we're gonna talk about choices and decisions, and basically it's gonna come behind what we've been talking about. What can make you happy, choices that you make, and we have a choice to be happy. And every decision that we make on our own. So it takes somebody else to help us to do something, but the one thing in the world that it doesn't take us doesn't have to do with anybody else. We have the freedom of choice. And no matter what nobody thinks, what nobody says, that choice is ours alone. Yes, we need help to do any and everything else in the world, but we do not need the choice, the help to actually say yes or no, or to choose to do what we do. And basically, about what we want to do. We was in prison. We was praying, please God, let me get out of jail. When I want to get out of jail, now we out of jail. So now that we out of jail, it's not over with. You can't just kick God to the curb and say, oh yeah, we out of jail now. I got this. It's continuous prayer, but it's also the choices that we make as well. Because like the last few weeks, it was disrespect, how can things, who can make you happy and who can, piss you off. But those are still choices because you have a choice to let somebody get you in your feelings.
You know what? That's so funny because literally, I've been dealing with a situation for the past couple of days that honestly, if I allowed myself to get in my feelings, it would be all bad. I mean, all bad. Nothing will be good, but I haven't been taking it personal. And so that is really about it because it's a choice. It's a choice. I could choose to respond the way that people deserve, but in all honesty, I just choose to only do what I have to do. And that's protect our organization and everything else. But outside of that, there's nothing because I did make that as a choice. Like I'm not gonna allow them to take me out of what's and that is a choice, literally.
It's a choice because it's also when you think about it, what am I going to decide to do? Am I going to decide to retaliate? Am I going to decide to take this shit laying down? Am I going to let it fly over my head? Am I going to deal with something head on? Am I going to be confrontational about it? What type of resolve am I going to do to bring it to the best desired result that I want and not end up back in prison, right?
That's the third time that
Mm-hmm.
So that's the beauty of being free, have the freedom of choice. Because they say, oh, you made me do it, you made me do it. No, nobody can make you do anything. Even if they put a gun to your head, you still have the choice to say, hell no, shoot my brains out. Or yes, as an adult, and somebody out here in the free world, a couple of brothers said they waiting on Section 8. Me and Mike was talking about earlier how he's choosing to, live where he's staying at, and it's awesome for him. It's a third of his rent, but he could say, "Fuck it, I want to go to a shelter. I don't want to pay nothing." Choices. But it's all about choices.
That is never going to be my choice.
And sometimes coming out of prison, we don't have the luxury of making certain choices abruptly, but everything is setting up to make those choices so that when you're done at the Francisco home, have you saved enough money? Have you got your SSI in place? Have you got the disability in place? Are you filling out applications to get senior citizen housing, You know, are you setting up a situation to where you can go to school? Are you building up the support system that you have if you have one? And if you don't have one, what type of support system are you gaining to help yourself? So these are all choices that we have to do because we can't do it out here by ourselves. We gotta have some type of support system. And if we go to jail and we go on 20, 30 years and everybody died, somebody out here still to help us. But we gotta reach out, we gotta be verbal, and we gotta put our ego to the side, and we gotta make that choice, that big C, that choice to communicate. Hey, Noreen, I need some help. Hey, counselor at the Francisco home, I need to line up because I need to get Section 8. I want to go to school.
No.
These are the choices that we have to make in order to stay in society, and not only stay in society, but to be successful during our reentry transition.
You know, one of the things that just occurred to me too, Terrell, is the difference between how different it is and why it's a challenge for some people is that when you've been incarcerated for a long time, your choices are limited.
Mhm.
And I have had people to be, in fact, James talks about it all the time, where he went in the store and he was just overwhelmed by just all the choices and options that he had to buy toothpaste, right? So it's crazy when you come from an environment where you don't really have a lot of choices. You don't get to decide what time you go to bed. You don't get to decide what time you eat breakfast. You don't get to decide none of those things. And then now you come out here and it's a challenge because the amount of choices that you have is overwhelming because you get to decide everything. And some people, like when I was at Solano and I had a couple guys say, look, I got locked up at 19. Now I'm 53, or now I'm in my late 40s. And if you've grown up in a situation, you spent your entire adult life in a situation where you didn't get to make choices, then it's difficult to make choices. Like in reading some of the things about one of the things that Terrell says in the book, executive decisions may require a certain level of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, or experience that a person fresh out of prison may not have, right? You may not have that. In relationships, you may not have had, I mean, you think about those people that went to prison at 19, how much real experience have they had being in relationships, right? Adult relationships.
Depends on what kind of celly they had.
Oh, you know what? Okay, see.
I'm
okay.
not about to. I'm not about to.
I'm
not about to. I'm not about to play with you. Mute him. Tony, mute him, please.
I can only see the top of your head, Di. Move your camera.
Mute him, please. Mute him.
I cannot mute him, baby. That was your job and you left.
Tony, mute him. Do something. Somebody
okay, Tony, they're asking you to mute him. They're asking you to
mute him.
Okay, because honestly, right?
But in all seriousness, if I can join this conversation.
Yeah, like the real conversation we were having?
Yes.
Not the one he's having?
Yes.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
So it's May. So in March, I think it finally hit me having or maybe April, it finally hit me like I haven't finished the book, but I started the book, and the last time I visited my cousin as opposed to this time, I'm always, Isaac, what do you want? And he'll be talking like this time he was talking to my mom, and I'm like, Isaac, what do you want? And I'm over here holding up the line. I don't care, cousin, and I'm like, what do you want? He doesn't care because I'm sending the packages. I'm filling it out. When it says this item is no longer available, I'm making the executive decision to get whatever else I feel is in comparison, and he doesn't. And Isaac's been in there since he was 17, so it was like a bombshell for me. And being on that other side, I had more compassion and more empathy for him, and I never realized I was taking the empathy away or the compassion away, because I'm thinking, I'm coming all this way to see you, at least you could tell me what you want, because I'm trying to give you as much as I can give you. I'm trying to make every visit your birthday. But he's like, I don't care, cousin. I was like, well, you want chocolate, you want peanuts, I don't care. And I'm like, maybe you don't care. But this time I was like, Isaac, is there anything particular that you want? And he was like, no, cousin. And I just got a bunch of stuff and I came over there. I got frustrated because I couldn't get the water out of the machine and I couldn't have the soda, but him, it looked different from me having that knowledge.
Now, right? Because now you know that he's not accustomed to making all them decisions, right? And not accustomed to having all them choices.
Yeah.
So that's just interesting. Oh wait, Pike wants to say something, y'all. Please don't let me forget. Okay, because I can't get beat up twice. Okay, but go ahead. Okay, now I want to make sure they can see you. Go ahead.
But it was like when they went to packages, only you could get from.
Walking horse.
Yeah, before that, when my sisters.
Yeah.
We
used to send them.
You have a list.
A list.
And I tell her, stay on the list.
Right.
No way. So when I get the package, he's saying, you can have this, you can have this, you can't have this, you can have this, and this, you can't have this. But to show you the system, how it really works, when it was all over, that's what the guard did.
Whatever he chose.
Whatever was in this pile that I wasn't allowed to have, we split it half and half. And I've had that happen like 4 times.
You got some love then.
Yeah,
I'm
but
confused. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean.
I got a pile that I'm not allowed to have.
Okay.
The cop goes,
Don't split
so you're taking all of it.
Oh, he let you have half of it and he kept half of it.
Right.
And then what would he do? Resell the half of it? Who knows?
Take some home, give some to his workers.
But what he did, he had compassion. What the guard did was have compassion that this man, people sent him the package. It was contraband. He wasn't supposed to have it.
Oh.
But I'm not gonna take it all from you. I'm gonna give you half because I gotta do my job.
Oh.
And even if he did give it to somebody else, damn it, he gave him some of it and he wasn't supposed to have none of it.
And it was contraband for him. Oh, I see. Okay, see.
A stick of gum could be contraband, but it's a stick of gum.
It wasn't on the list.
Right.
So whatever wasn't on the list is contraband.
Everything
Wow,
that's
see,
on the
again-
list is
If
contraband.
it's a Coke and you say it's Pepsi, you can't get Coke.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it would
It's
because
that to you.
because
It's that to
the
you.
inmates in some places had to pay to send it back.
Yeah.
So it's a very
Yeah, it
long
was
and
send it-
arduous process
it-
that they have to go through. So in essence, the guard is giving compassion because the guard is gonna end up having to do the paperwork and having to do everything that needs to get it back. And the guard is not gonna be able to walk out the door with all of that stuff. So they figured out a way. I mean, because I think gum was a contraband. So
Yeah.
gum would get stuck on your shoes and stuck on the ground. So maybe they couldn't have the gum or maybe they couldn't have this, but it was a way to settle it for everyone involved because, it was a lot of stuff running through when we used to send packages versus it coming to Walking Horse.
Well, I knew guys that if they had stuff they was gonna take, they would just open it up and pour it in the trash can.
Oh, wow.
They tell, because they can't afford,
Wait, one conversation, because he was talking and I want them to hear what you're saying, baby.
they
go ahead.
couldn't afford to send it home. They got
Okay.
any money.
Right.
So they would just open it up and pour it in the trash can and tell you,
Right.
And then I wanted them to hear what you were saying, sweetie. You were saying something.
Really don't.
No, I don't want to hear what she was saying. Okay, never mind then. They said I don't want to hear what she was saying. Okay. Well, but that's just interesting to me again, because see, I've only sent 2 packages in my life, and that was off the list. You know what I mean? Like the list came to me in the mail,
No.
and we got on the phone, and I told him what was on the list, and he told me what he wanted, and I put that on there, and that's what I sent.
No, ma'am.
30 pounds.
I'm 57. I've been sending packages since I was 14.
Okay, yeah,
30
see.
pounds, right?
Yep.
30
Wow.
that-
7.8.
Oh,
On a scale because you would send some reason, when it got there, it seemed to weigh 31 and they'd be ready to send the package back or what have
Yep.
you. So I always gave it a 3 to 5 pound,
Or ounces or something different.
differential,
The
just,
cushion.
just in case, because for me, I had a mom, again, things that are not in the book. My brother died April 8th, 1981. April 8th, 1982, my mom and all 5 of her uncles were in prison across the United States. And I was 15 sending packages to everyone. And so I had to be on my game because I didn't want to hear anybody talk about their package coming back. I didn't want any problems with anything. And so I legitimately stuck to what I needed to do, but I got a 30-pound package back that weighed 30.6 pounds. So you really had to figure out how to be on your games. I mean, I kind of hate when I read the information off of Walking Horse, but it actually saved me a lot of time and effort and energy by going to that standardized process, because what is on Walking Horse or what is on the package slips, you're not allowed to deviate from. They set the standard for the deviation, so everything on there is considered or is not considered to be.
Do you remember when they took the packages and you had to buy from them?
Yeah, I do.
You know who started that?
I think it was Sheriff Baca's daughter had the contract.
Cops.
Yeah, Sheriff Baca, I know his daughter had the contract
Yeah.
for a long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cops.
Pete Rose made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So
And a bunch of minor Major League Baseball players were all inside of there. If you read the name, you know, I'm Captain Nosy, so I would go through the names and find out who the names were. But Pete Rose sold a whole lot of products, so they were somewhere in there. They got to athletes who had money, who needed to double their money or needed to make money, and then they got the not the jailers, but the guards. The guards' families were doing it as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
so a lot of people got into that.
okay.
I did.
So Mr. Terrell,
And for the feds, it was Bob Parker products and it was the Keefe products. And
Yes.
the Keefe products were owned by the Bush family, President Bush.
Yes.
So, and in the feds, we couldn't get packages. They cut that shit out from the old law to the new law. So everything in the feds you was getting from commissary. And if you didn't have no money, you just
Thank
didn't
you.
eat. You had to go to the shower. You didn't go to the store. So, but the thing about choices is when we come home, a lot of choices can be overwhelming because just having the ability to make a choice can be overwhelming for somebody who's actually had no choices. For the
Having money
last
in your
5,
pocket.
10, 20 years and having money. You know, some things are scary. And those are the things that we have to break. We have to break those negative cycles about and come to realization that now we're not in prison. It's gonna take time, but it's doable, you know, and everybody has their own time space. There's not a timetable to where it says, oh, well, you're supposed to be adjusted by this amount of time. You're supposed to be adjusted to this amount of time because everybody's doing a different type of time. Everybody has a different perspective, and you don't know the next person's trauma. It's an individual sport. It's not a cookie cutter to this shit. So everybody is on your own pace. And that's why I tell people utilize the AAA system, assess, adjust, and address. You got to assess everything that you know and understand yourself, because if you understand yourself, then you can see some of the plans that you have made, some of the things that when you get to those goals, and if it's not in a timely manner, you can give yourself more time. If you did accomplish those things, you could check it off and set another goal. But the thing about it, you can always use that AAA formula throughout your time being in society. You can always assess, make adjustments, and then address everything. And these will help you make better choices, or even conscious choices of, okay, well, let me pull back, let me think about what the situation is. And trust and believe me, it's gonna be situations out here where them choices gonna be like light speed, and it might put you like a deer in the headlights, because in society, it's a lot of shit going on out here. And I know one of the brothers was like, I'm scared of people out here. And you very well should be scared of people out here. Because like I said before, a lot of these people walk around here blacked out, on drugs, chemically impaired, mentally impaired, and might be ready to just trigger off, might have a weapon in their pocket. So you got to be conscious of other people. It's like driving for other people. It's bad enough you barely getting out of jail and the shit is scary yourself, but you got to be watching, motherfuckers. That instinct you had in prison, you better very well use that shit out here in the street.
That was my biggest thing. When I come out, there was too many crazies out here. I didn't, if I seen them, I would go over here. But if they got up on me, I'm having a mental thing. Am I going back to prison because I'm gonna drop this dude, or I'm gonna cut him, or something's gonna happen to him. Because I don't allow people to put their hands on me. But that was the scariest thing for me, was go to a market and there's 4 or 5 of them out there and you don't know what to do, because when they come up on you,
You don't know what their intention is.
yeah, you got
How do you know?
you got to back off. Even in church, I know this sounds silly, but I can't go to Sunday school because the room is so small.
Mm,
I can't feel comfortable if there's somebody behind me.
mhm.
And that's from prison. Yeah, I don't want nobody behind me. So I finally told the bishop, I said, look, I'll go to church, but I'm not going to Sunday school because somebody might touch me and I turn around and floor them.
Yeah, as a reflex, as an instinctive reflex, as opposed to, it would be a reflex as opposed to really wanting to hurt somebody. It would most, just be.
It's reflective trauma.
Yeah.
And it's again, that's why I call it an individual sport. And I know everybody around me has heard me say this about different things. It's based on his trauma, his personal experience. And you don't know how they're going to react. And that's the thing I have. They won't sit in the front of a restaurant because of their own personal trauma. So it most definitely is. It's how you maintain your self-survival.
Mhm. And what happens to you along the way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like what experiences you have that lead to certain things. And can we say, welcome, my love, to Miss Cheryl Ward. Glad to see you in person. With your glasses matching, you know what y'all too? Y'all gonna cut it out here. Y'all be doing the thing, okay? Oh, you checking her out? I'm checking her out. Okay.
Matches her dress.
Matches her dress and her outfit and everything. Go on, y'all. They fancy over here, y'all. I'm just saying. They fancy. When I grow up, I'm gonna be like them. I'm gonna be fancy like them. I like this one too. This is one of the things that he says. Whenever an individual makes a choice or decision, it is their responsibility to own up to whatever has materialized. Once you make that choice, you got to own it for the good or the bad. You can't now turn it over to somebody else and act like I didn't make that decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you did.
Like
Yes,
I have a
you did.
family, huh?
I said, yes, you did make that decision.
Yeah, and don't act like I did it. Don't act like I did it. You did that, right? So when you make decisions, if it turns out good, great. You take the credit. If it turned out bad, you take the credit for that too. You can't now all of a sudden turn around and now I'm responsible because you made bad choices. That don't work.
Nope.
But a lot of people want to do that. They want to make somebody else responsible for the outcome of their choices. What y'all doing? You gotta watch them back here. You keep an eye on them ladies behind me here. Because I told you they be doing stuff behind me. But what they doing back there? Keep an eye on them, Di.
They all is smiling right now.
They all just, okay, you keep an eye out on them, okay? And I'm watching everybody else, okay? Hey, Mr. Hall. How you doing? Hi. Okay, so anyway, but yeah, I like that. Like you gotta take responsibility. Once you make a decision, you gotta take responsibility for what happens after.
Mr. Hall trying to talk to you, but he can't get his speaker to work.
Uh-oh.
He said, can you hear him now?
Peter Brothers Markets app.
Not really. I heard something, but I wasn't sure if it was him. Speak again, baby.
He said he can't get it off mute, so no.
I'll tune in when I get it off.
He said,
Oh, I heard you. I heard, or maybe I'm hearing him through you, huh?
you hear? Because he right next to me.
Y'all crazy. I ain't playing with y'all. Okay, maybe. Okay, well, when he talk, he can talk to your speaker. Just mute his stuff or whatever.
I'm on now.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, because me and Rufus was just talking about you greeting the lady that was here, but you didn't greet me and him when we came in.
Say that again.
I said me and Rufus was just talking about you greeting the young lady that came in, but you didn't greet me and him when we came on.
Well, you know what? So what? That was ignorant, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
That was ignorant. It was rude. It was ignorant. It was a whole bunch of stuff. Hi, Rufus. How y'all doing?
Where'd you pick that up?
Hey, but guess what, y'all? That's what y'all get for being late. Look.
yeah.
And the fact that y'all still haven't come here in person. I'm not letting y'all off the hook behind that neither.
We can
And see, I wouldn't have said nothing, but I just keep seeing you, Michael, on Facebook all out in public with other people, but you can't come here. So that's why, yeah, it's okay. But anyway, Mike, he be out there, right? He be outside, don't he? But he don't come here. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, hi y'all. Welcome to this evening. I was just happy to see Miss Cheryl because I've been missing her, and she wasn't here last week, so I missed her for a whole week, more than you guys.
Oh, okay.
We'll be there next week.
You don't get to see it too often anymore, so
Yeah.
since you
Okay, right.
Yeah. So anyway, Mr. Tillman.
Cheryl.
I want to ask a
Thank
question
you.
to everybody. I want to ask a question to all you.
Okay, everybody, we got a question from the facilitator for tonight. What's the question?
Everybody that has a book, have you guys actually even started reading the book?
Have I finished it? No. Have I started? Yes.
The guys on the screen, everybody that's in those halfway houses, have you guys even started reading in the book? Have you even opened the book and looked at it?
Yes, Mr. Tillman. I have started looking at the book and reading the book. There were some certain things in there that I did gravitate toward. And one was how your life was formulated, the things that you did and the choices that you made. You know, this is a very interesting topic that we talk about tonight. It's about choice. You know, when I thought about it and when I'm thinking about it, I didn't have a choice to come into the world. I have a choice now that I'm in the world. You know, I made choices that gave me a life sentence. Someone else made a choice to let me out. Now, each and every day I'm making choices, but sometimes I'm a little stubborn about the choices that I make, you know, because it makes me think more than I want to think about, you know. So I'm making these choices and sometimes they fit and sometimes they don't. So I think I need more practice. That I'm at home and I'm out and I'm free to make more sound choices that where it don't keep me up at night.
And guess what, Mr. Willie? You said a real mouthful because guess what? It says right here, unlike your surroundings, we might not have control of our surroundings. Our choices and decisions are exclusive and they will determine our destiny. Period. But we have to make the choices to want to learn, to want to make better choices. You know what I mean? And I wasn't being funny when I asked everybody that they tap into the books because I tell everybody this all the time. These books ain't to collect dust. This shit got information in it that could fucking possibly save your life and help you better yourself while you out here. I didn't just write this as a memoir. I wrote this for information and education to show people I've done it personally. I'm doing it again. This what might can help you. And it wasn't, I'm not trying to toot my horn, but I know this shit works because I live by it every day. But you gotta wanna do it. You gotta wanna practice making good choices. You gotta wanna practice to try to get yourself better. They all said, you wanna hire something from a black man, put it in the book, he won't read it. And I'm not being racist about it, I'm just saying, information.
I know a white guy that won't read it either.
You know, more power to the people that's illiterate. But if you can read Cat in the Hat, you can read this book, and that's how I wrote this book. Easy to read, very comprehensive, and that's what it's about. Because it's the choices, and the choices and decisions we make. That's what's going to make us have better living experiences and to build ourselves to have a better introspective to survive out here in the world. To not even survive, but to thrive in the world.
One thing I can say is I published my book in 2018, and I can tell you it's 5 years later, and it's kicking up more dust now than it did then. So what I will say to you, Terrell, is it's a matter of timing. Like when I listen to Willie being in school and Patrick and everything, and then everybody's been in different things, but the blessing is that they have the information in their hand. When it's time for them to have it and it's time for them to use it, it'll be available to them. It's like one plant and then they get a water and they get the increase. So it will, in its time, even if they haven't gotten to it yet. That's another reason why I wanted you to come at least once a month and let's go through some of this stuff, because it provides the opportunity to give them the information, and at least let's have the conversations about the things that you say, because they are good things, and because they did work, and because it is necessary. Some people don't even know to pay attention, or even simple things like how your choices, your life is the culmination of every choice you've ever made. Everybody's life is that right now. We don't pay attention to that. Some people don't even know that as a concept. So the fact that you have that as a chapter, that's why I wanted you to continue to come back and we get to pick one topic and let's chop it up about it. Give them some of the information. That's why I like reading, and I love the way he wrote it, because with all of these little things, I can just pick out one thing at a time. Unlike trying to highlight everything in the book, you see what I'm saying? And then you could go and it's like, oh, one thing too, Tony, something I'm so glad to be able to say that coming here and having conversations with us caused you to have a better understanding of your cousin when you went to visit him and why he was telling you whatever, it don't matter. I don't care. This is why I know that Free to Heal is necessary, because some people don't know what they don't know, and they don't, like, to you, that just didn't make any sense. What you mean you don't care? Well, he had been making all of them choices. So to me and you, what you mean you don't care? Whatever, you gotta care. You don't.
Yeah, because I got wanting to drive
Right.
all these miles to get the color down to tell me
That you don't care?
You don't care.
But it wasn't that at all. It's not that at all. It's that he's used to people making those decisions for him. He doesn't get to choose what he wants.
Not have been afforded to him. The privilege of choice has not been afforded to him in the circumstances, and that's what he's conditioned with. So anything is acceptable to him. Anything is appreciated by him because he doesn't have that opportunity to make that choice. And that's something that people in the free world don't have a clue about when people are incarcerated and they don't have the choice of the matter to choose what they want.
And I love the way you said that choice was not afforded to him. Choice was not afforded to him.
Taken for granted. And especially, I mean, as many deals that I have been in across the country, still did not come to me. I read that and I've been reading it wasn't even digested properly. I read it. No, I mean, I read it. I understood it. I'm smart. I'm articulate. I'm well spoken, well versed, the whole 9 yards. It wasn't until I turned around and said, Isaac, and I thought, let me go back. Let me go back to that piece. And it's like Noreen is saying, it's sometimes you have to be that catalyst to help pick things apart because people don't see it how you see it. And I know I have a very abstract brain, so I know a lot of times people don't see things the way that I see them. And when I break them down, I give them such a different perspective. I'm processing that along with everything else that I'm processing as I move. And it just dawned on me. And I was like, damn, like I've been on his shit for 21 years about making a damn choice about a candy bar, you know, or a soda or a drink, or, you know, he's like, whatever. And I'm like, whatever, like, no, it's not whatever. You gonna pick something. All right, cousin, all right. You know, and I know I'm that dominating personality because I'm the oldest and everybody's always looking at me to set that example. I'm the oldest of 26 grandchildren and everybody's always looking at me, but in that moment, he's like, I don't care. And I'm like, wait a minute, what you mean you don't care? And it's never going to be an argument because he don't want the guards to see us argue. But I don't see it that way.
It wasn't well with you though.
No, it wasn't. Because I'm like, I get up and I done went to 9 different wash houses to go get all this damn change and all these $1 bills at the bank and whoopty this and that, and gotta stop for gas twice in the morning. You gonna make a choice, but in that moment,
machine. Did he walk through the machine?
Yeah, he walks the machines.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
But I did not even, I like I said, I read it, I processed it, all of that, but I did not process it properly in that moment of reading it. And I didn't process it properly until this last visit.
You know what was funny? When I got out and I went up to Arkansas to visit my sister, we went to the casino. And I told her, I gotta go to the bathroom. Do you know she walked me to the bathroom and stood by that door? And I come out and I looked at her and I told her, excuse my language, but what the fuck is your problem? I said, I'm 70 fucking years old and you're walking me to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But look, see the trauma going both directions, boo-boo. Let's be clear, baby. Hold up, swole up. Because look, the last time she probably walked your ass somewhere, she ain't see you for 30 some odd years. Don't front and act like it was always a given that if she let you out her sight, you was gonna be back in a few minutes.
Exactly.
No, that didn't happen.
Exactly.
That did not happen. Okay, so the trauma go in both directions, boo. Yes, ma'am.
And she knows the world.
Right.
People coming out don't even understand this world. I be telling people you would know nothing about the world.
I know how to flush a urinal.
No, you don't know what
That's-
happens in bathrooms now.
That's not.
You don't know
that's
what
not the
people
point.
and stuff. It's a
That's not
different
the
world.
point. And then as James alludes to, when he's here about walking down the street, looking at this fool talking to himself. Well, he's not talking to himself. He got an earpiece on. James hadn't seen the earpiece. So, you know, he's like, I'm about to touch this fool walking next to me talking to himself because he's crazy. And it's, you don't know. I can see myself.
I had that problem.
I can see myself waiting for Isaac outside of the bathroom. I can literally see myself waiting for Isaac, and Isaac is 6'2". I wait for my son to come out the bathroom, and my son is 6'6". I wait for him to come out the bathroom. He ain't never set foot in a prison because I do know the world. So it is you have to be conscious that the trauma goes both ways for everything that you experienced.
It upset me.
But and she probably didn't care because she knows you.
Nope.
She didn't
No,
care.
And she couldn't afford to care. She didn't have time to care. So she been through some stuff too.
And I said something extremely implicitly, just as vulgar as you, because motherfucker, I didn't know whether you knew how to wipe yourself. That's why I'm standing by the door and I'm standing with an napkin. You know, because you just don't.
She ain't seen.
Right, the last right? Because listen, and don't forget your point, because we become afraid that you're going to leave us again.
Yeah.
That is a very real fear, you guys. The last time if we was living with you and you walked out the door, you didn't come back for however long that was.
Yeah.
We did that traumatized us. So yeah, we a little overprotective. You know, we scared to death. Okay, but you wanted to say something.
And I was just basically gonna say, we've been through training and it's a part of being security post.
Yeah.
You know, I'm walking to the bathroom and I'm gonna stand right here till your ass come back out. No disrespect, not saying that you can't wiggle your own swipe, but when you come out the bathroom, I'm gonna be right there to receive you. You know what I mean? Cause like, you don't know what's going on in the world. And you know, abandonment issues is a motherfucker. And it goes both ways. It's not an infringement on your privacy or your adulthood or any of that. It's about caring. It's about the securing and making sure that you're okay when you come back out of that bathroom. As she let you into the bathroom by yourself, she wandered somewhere else. When the hell was she to caught up with you again? You came out the bathroom like, yeah, where's my sister? Damn, you just gonna leave me? So,
And what's funny is a lot of it is very subconscious too. I want you guys to realize this on our part. Like with Tony coming to that understanding, you read it, you digested it, you thought you understood it, but it wasn't until you saw it in action and in real time that it actually made sense to you, and it took on a whole nother meaning. Sometimes you can know something and understand it when the words are spoken or you read them and you get it, but then something happens and it's like, oh, I understand that in a much deeper way than I did before. I understand it's levels to this shit. Okay, I get it now. I'm on a deeper level with this. I have much more understanding than I thought I had before. You know, so it's very important to, again, for everybody, this is again why I know that Free to Heal is really necessary, because people on the outside, I'm always thinking about the person that lives in some state somewhere where they don't have homes like the Francisco homes, and they don't have access to groups. Even in California, I know when I had women that were leaving CIW and going in Central California, they were like, there's no programming up there at all. So they don't get to hear and have these kind of conversations and get people to explain things to them as simple as it is in this book and in our conversations. That's why it means so much to me that we come here every week and make this information available to other people. Because what I know for the most part about dealing with people coming home from incarceration, a lot of it I learned from Diane. And when she would tell me things, this is years and years ago, long before I actually dealt with somebody who was literally incarcerated at the time. She would tell me things, and Diane tells stories in a very funny way. So I would be cracking up, but listen, she was real as real can be. She was nailing stuff on the head, and things she told me those years ago, I watched it play out in real time under my circumstances. So I know that if you have somebody that's been through it and you don't feel like you're the only one that's going through this, because trust me, Tony, you wasn't the only one that went to the vending machine and was asking what you want. They like,
no, you wasn't. You wasn't.
No,
You was
and then
not.
wait, and now they can't even go to the vending machine.
They can't cross the yellow line.
They can go, but they can't cross the line.
They can't
Right,
cross the
but guess
yellow
what?
line.
And y'all know why that is, right?
Point.
Y'all do know why that is, right?
Why?
They was having sex behind the vending machines.
Oh wow.
They was getting their bed on behind the damn vending machine. Yes.
damn police booth. The police couldn't see the bottom, and all they see is the neck, and he in there getting it in.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I done seen some stuff up in that joint.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but in states, that's why they can't go behind the yellow line now.
And the thing about it is that
Going to Fred's Pop Club.
the application of action when real and when it's real is totally different than when you read it. Because you can read it and be like, okay, but until it actually happens, and it's realistic right in front of you, materializing, it's a different thing. Because you can read
So
it.
different feeling.
Yeah. But when it happened and it's real, you're like, oh shit,
Right.
this is what it feels like. Okay. Because I mean, everybody on this picture, if you went on a visit, you can visualize, damn, what was my choices to get out that machine? I don't know. I don't care. Just give me something. I'm just happy you came.
Yep.
Now you're on the street, you got choices. You know, you might have a loved one, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a family member, whether it's a coworker, a friend, or somebody just, you know, taking you somewhere. Them choices is something that's can be overbearing at times.
Oh, and can I say something right here too, that I think is really important, is that all of those choices also contribute to why relationships between men and women, when one or the other was incarcerated, don't work when the person incarcerated comes home.
Right.
Because now, where when you're incarcerated, you have restrictions, you have very little time. A lot of things are set for you. Things are moving slow. You don't have to deal with all of these choices. You don't have to deal with all the options. It ain't a whole lot of people writing you letters and whatever. But then when you come out, even if it's not about another person, I need a car. I need a house. I need a job. I need to get my birth certificate. I need my social security card. I need to know.
Clothes.
I want to go. It's a
job.
lot of things going on that were not going on when you were incarcerated. And now that those things are taking up space and time, that you don't have time to devote to the relationship. Not to mention the fact that something that Cheryl says all the time, you don't even know yourself on this side of the wall. You don't even know who you are in the free world at this point. You got to figure that out first. And so you got all of that going on, all of that transition when you come home. And so, yeah, the majority of the relationships fail. But it's not necessarily what people think that, oh, well, we just, he used her for this, and now that he home, he don't need her no more. That may be some of it, but usually I found it's more than that. Go ahead, and you want to say something?
Go ahead, Rufus.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with some of it, right, that you just said, because I after 34 years of me being in there, I found out who I am. You know what I mean? And the girl that I had at the time, I got out in 22, and she went her way in 20. You know what I mean? And my thing was, I was gonna commit myself totally to this woman because of what she showed me, right? And I mean, something I ain't never did, you know what I'm saying, as far as being faithful and all of that, you know what I mean? And because I know who I am today. And now that I'm out, I still feel like I would have gave her that. I mean, we ain't in no relationship, but I still feel like I feel the same way. And the thing that I'm seeing out here in this world today, that would have been easy for me. For one, I was into her. For number two, I felt like I wanted to give her that. And the way I feel right now today, it's nothing. I don't feel any different in terms of my ability to commit the way I always felt I wanted to commit when I was in there. I don't feel no different. I don't feel nothing's in the way of that out here now by me trying to get a job, by me trying to do. I don't feel none of that's in the way. I feel I can. I would have been able to do all that. I mean, that's me getting clothes and all that. That's a given. I have to get that. But commit myself to her in the relationship, I still feel like I could. No different. She would have got all of that. You know what I mean?
Everybody don't feel like you, and everybody don't think like that. Because there'll be a lot of things going on when you get out here. You know what I'm saying? You got to re-enter yourself to your family. You're going to reconnect with your friends. You're going to reconnect with your children if you have them. So you be all over the place. Every man don't sit down and get focused like that on what they need to do exactly when they get here in the relationship with someone that's been there with them. They don't feel that way. They feel like getting connected with their friends better, more than get connected with the person that's been there for them.
Now I want to say something to what Rufus just said.
Go ahead.
I'm by myself because I choose to be, because I'm fucked up, because I know
you are.
After any time in prison, especially 10, 20, 30 years, the intimacy, the physicality, the emotional, the mental, I don't give a damn how focused you would be and loyal you would be to that woman. You don't know that woman and you don't know yourself. Once you get up in them guts and that emotional, physical, and intimate and all that psychological stuff come into play, you don't know where your mind gonna be. You thinking, and this is why a lot of people today get out of prison and they be stalkers because they get that first piece of coochie. And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm loyal to you, baby. You stayed down with me. That ain't her. She was doing what she was doing to get that fresh penitentiary still. But guess what? You seen her in a different light than she might have seen herself. And then when you, and not saying that she's a bad person, but she don't know you, dude. She just know what she's doing for you. And you know what she's doing for you. So your mindset is, I'm gonna be loyal to this woman. I'm gonna give her everything I'm gonna give her. But you ain't intimate. You ain't got no emotional attachment. You ain't got no sexual attachment. None of that stuff. You going off of what she's done for you. Once you come out to this world and you get that physicality in you, you get the lust and the seeing the choices and all of that, you still might want that. But what does she want? It takes two tangle. You see what I'm saying? And even if you was to give her that, and I'm pretty sure it's you might have seen it since you've been home. A lot of dudes is, gung-ho about their woman or somebody that stayed down with them, but they woman ain't gung-ho about them no more. You know what I'm saying? They can't get rid of them fast enough. I done seen so many miserable women out here, you won't leave. But I flip it on myself. I'm not ready to give somebody my all because I need to give me my all right now. I need to get myself together. Damn what a motherfucker did for me. I appreciate it. I'm gonna look out for you and all that. And I'm gonna be loyal to the cause, but I gotta be loyal to myself and get myself right too. And if you for me, you're gonna be cool with that. You're gonna have some level of understanding with that. And I'm also gonna be able to talk to you and communicate that to you a little bit to where you're gonna understand that, baby, I love you. I appreciate what you did. I got you. And I'm gonna be loyal to you, but I still gotta grow on myself. I still gotta grow to know myself. I still gotta get myself together because I don't care how much a person gives you when you come home, you wanna be a man and stand on your own. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, when the intimacy comes, the sexuality comes, the mentality, the emotions, and guess what? She ain't gonna be up under you all day. She gotta go, she gonna chill with her homegirls, her family, people in her ear. What he doing for you, girl? You know what I mean? You a baby out here getting yourself together. And she not tripping off you bringing stuff to the table, but somebody else might be tripping off of that to her in her ear about the bullshit. And she like, no, this is my man. So you gotta think about all the different factors that go involved into that relationship. And the fact that when we in prison, we don't have intimate relationships, that's a whole game changer in itself, bro. When a woman just touch you when you get on the street. You know what I'm saying? And if you a tender, you know what? You're gonna be gung-ho over that woman. And you might lose your whole focus because your focus is gonna be keeping that woman and not being on yourself, getting yourself together. Not saying it happens to everybody, but it can happen. And I tell the women today, look, it ain't you, baby, it's me. I ain't ready for that. So you a good woman, and hey, I'm never holding you back from finding the right man and a good man, but I'm not him. And I'm not gonna sit here and play with your emotions or my emotions. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta be honest with yourself. Because guess what? I know me, and I'm still have temptation and lust in my heart. Because goddamn it, I've been gone a whole long. All my 20s was in the jail. From the time I was 18 to 30. So I still got a lot of lust in me, and I have something that's better than sex for me. And it's a legacy, and it's my family. And it's me building the foundation for them. I don't live for myself no more. I'm past the sex aspect. So the purpose of sex in a woman, that's not even in my mentality right now.
So for me, this is what I want to say about it, right? You didn't go up to the point, because all of what you did to work on you and to understand who you are is good. That's great. The fact that you were not with her when you walked out that gate, I don't know why that was the case. Okay, you came home in 22, it ended in 20. I don't know how long were you guys together before that?
Well, in prison, we was together probably, I'll say 9 years.
Okay.
But I knew her before I got locked up.
So,
you know what I mean?
So say that again.
I said in prison it was 8 to 11 years, something like that.
Okay, so listen.
I'll say 8 years. But I knew her.
But I can't hear him, you guys. Okay.
I knew her before I got locked up. So
okay, so let me say this. And when you got short to the gate, it ended. Okay?
Right.
Now, I want to share this with you. There are a lot of women, because I don't want it to be, that's why when I was saying it, I wasn't saying it just on the part of the person that was incarcerated. I know that there is a whole cadre of women, there's a whole class of women, group of women who want a guy who's incarcerated.
Right.
I met a guy at the Francisco Homes who told me his woman, they was married for a long, long time. And the minute he got a date, she divorced him. So understand that there are some women who don't want the responsibility, the full-time responsibility of being in a relationship. What I was saying is that whether you're male or female, when you're incarcerated, you may have time to focus on that relationship that you don't have when you come home. You now have that attention is diverted. You have more things to think about, right? Now, but then there's also other reasons, but that's just one thing on a topic, meaning now they have a lot of choice. That's one factor. It doesn't have to be that. But there are other factors, and I can appreciate what you're saying. You feel like you could have been all of those things, but we'll never know because it didn't happen. Meaning, right. Never know because we can't test the theory because You've already been out, right? You got out in 22, and y'all not together, so we didn't get to test the theory whether it would have worked or not, right? So just understand, and and she may have done you a favor by breaking it off in 2020. Right. She may have done you a favor because she may not have really been wanted to be down like that while you were here. Because see, that's a different level of investment. See, if I only have to do the phone calls, I got to do visits. I can schedule them when I want to. I got to do letters. I can do that, but I can still live the rest of my life however I feel like it.
Let me say this one thing, just to put it in perspective. During our whole relationship, just say the times that I was going to the board and her thing always been to me, I have never planned for my life to be a prison wife. That was her thing from the beginning. I'm like, fine. I never planned to be in here for the rest of my life, so okay. But
call it even.
Her thing was at every fork in the road or every date that I had to go see the board or go to the board early or whatever, she was like, look, when we get there, we're gonna have to rethink this thing again. So I was like, okay. No, but I respect it because I respect her as a woman. You know what I'm saying? And saying that she didn't plan for this for the rest of her life. So when I go to the board, if they say denied, then I look at her like, okay, they denied me. Where we going? She like, okay, what's the next date? The next date is this date. So then you tell me whether we going to that next date or not. If not, go do you. Be the woman that you are, that you want to be. I don't have a problem with that. The problem I had is when you made a commitment from 19 to 22 and you cut out in the middle of that. You know what I mean?
But see, so honestly, and I'm this the 100 zone. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? What I hear is, how many times did you go to board? Huh?
3.
Okay, now, all them times she stuck until it was clear your ass was coming home, boo-boo. It became clear you was coming home, she made her exit. So because she did you a favor, sweetheart. She
Yes.
did you a favor. She kept you down and whatever, and kept you because listen, if she stuck on the times, I could understand if she left when you were denied. That would make sense if she was really trying to be there. But in as much as she sounds to me, and this is not ironclad, but it sounds to me based on her behavior that she's one of those women who enjoyed having you as long as you was there, but not the responsibility of having to deal with you every day. She didn't want to have to deal with re-entry. She didn't want to have to deal with none of that. She didn't want to have to deal with you trying to get it together, trying to learn, none of that. You want to say something, Miss Cheryl?
Yeah, that's
Hey, Noreen.
guy that's locked up. They don't have to worry about him. They don't have to deal with him like that. And when you go home, they ain't gonna be there. But they want a man locked up. So she probably would have never got locked up.
So I'm just grateful to say that she probably did you a favor. What I want to do is I want to give everybody an opportunity to give me comments. Armando, I want to start with you.
Whoops, you hear me?
Yep, I sure can.
Okay. Yeah, responsibility. Yes, also there's accountability also in any choices that we make. We have to be accountable and be answerable to our choices, like the brothers were saying. And the relationship, I'm a married man, I have a wife, and yeah, there's challenges daily, with her making adjustments, with me making adjustments, with my stepson making adjustments. Everybody's making those adjustments right now. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm used to having things done one way. She's used to being independent, without a man there, even though I've known her, we've been married since 2014. We started getting those family visits in 2017. Out of the life I did 30 years, I got out in January. I've been out going on 6 months. But there's a lot of choices out here. There was a lot of topics floating around right now about choices, a lot of choices out here. That first time that I went shopping, I seen a whole row full of soup. I was like, wow, really? All this, I just told them, just pick anyone. I mean, there's so many choices of everything, as you guys know. So, and with clothing, with food, with everything, there's just 1,000 choices. And you have to but it's interesting how I used to be one of those guys. What do you want, babe? Give me anything. I don't care. What do you mean you don't want anything? You're acting like she's making the choices for me when you should be making your own choices. What do you want? A Snickers? You want a Reese's? You want a pina colada ice cream? You want a Snicker ice cream? What kind of ice cream do you want? Don't just say whatever, So, be accountable, step up, make those choices. And out here especially, you have to make choices with all these things out here. With what kind of phone you want, what kind of car, what kind of insurance, what kind of job,
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
It can be. And you have to learn how to make those choices one way or the other. I don't know what I missed it. I'm at my daughter's house and I missed the beginning of the class, but you guys were talking something about a book. I seen the brother right there. He wrote a book. I'm interested in reading that book. If we can get some information later on it, but it sounds very interesting. And like you said, we're learning out here. I mean, it could be difficult at times and overwhelming, but make the choice, and there's I came to believe that there's no such thing as I had no choice, because I used to say that I have no choice. I had to get involved. I had to get involved. I had no choice. You do have a choice. Now there's consequences with that choice, and there's consequences by not taking that choice. But the bottom line is, philosophically thinking, bottom lining it, you do have a choice. There's no such thing as I didn't have a choice. I mean, there are tough choices and there's consequences. And, there's accountability with those choices, you know what I mean? But I had to start making those choices. I could not pass the buck anymore. Like I had to get him telling my wife, I didn't have a choice. I had to get involved because the homies are going to look at me this way, or I didn't have a choice. No, you have a choice. And even my kids were telling me, 12-year-old kids are telling me, you had a choice. What do you mean you didn't have a choice? So, I mean, that's a little philosophical debate we people could have, but hey, you do always have a choice. You always have a choice, and you have to choose what's going to be beneficial for you. And, in there's consequences, one or the other. And, what do you want to do? You want to take that choice that's going to leave you in here? You want to take that choice to get out of here? And out here, the challenges remain. You have choices every day. you know, and you have to keep that instinct in you. You know, you see them guys over here, you have to what is it called? You have to think in advance what is going to happen if I go over there. Put your thinking cap on, you know, use your thinking. Same thing on the yard. You see those guys over there in those circles, you stay away from those circles. Same thing out here, you know, it's just on a more serious, just a serious level.
Yes.
We have to make those choices. But I agree with everything what everybody's saying. Of course, again, you know, good insight daily, Noreen. Thank you guys.
Wonderful.
And
Thank you.
I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Terry.
Yeah, you know, I believe that everybody has to, you know, give 100% to each other. You know, when you're in a relationship, you have to trust one another, and you gotta have you make choices together, and you know that's the way I feel.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Steffens.
Yes, Ms. Lorraine, the choice that I am so thrilled about is that I had an opportunity to educate myself, re-educate myself. You know, for a long time, I was just dumbfounded through the choices that I made in life, the things that I did to myself in life. You know, I made a mess of myself, but I'm trying to turn full circle around. And the great choice that I feel so good about, you know, we were talking about making ourselves happy, and that is that I am re-educating myself, have a goal that I want to achieve, and I'm looking forward to doing that.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Kit, can you unmute? Unmute. I'm gonna let Rufus make comments, but I want you to unmute so you can talk to us, okay? Go ahead, Rufus.
Did I do it?
Oh, wait, you did it. Wait, Kit already did it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kit.
Okay.
Your comments on the topic, sweetie.
Okay. I love when the author comes there and explains the book, because when you read the book, you don't get it through your thick skull the way he explains it. When he explains it, you get what he's really saying.
That's wonderful.
And I got announcements for everybody that's still here listening. If you want to see the Christians on the east side of Los Angeles Sunday, we all going to march from the church from 47th to San Pedro to the park on 51st and Avalon, all in white, showing you the day of Pentecosta. So you want to see?
Are you from 47th and San Pedro Place? Is that EMC?
The EMC Church.
Wonderful. I'm out of town, but tell Pastor Shep Noreen said hello.
Okay, because he knows you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He told me to tell you hi.
Oh, and you didn't tell me till I mentioned it?
Yeah, you know, I'll be forgetting things.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna knock you in the head next time I see you.
Well,
tell him I said hello if you remember, okay, baby?
Okay. He's bringing everybody from East Los Angeles to come there and show what it looks like to see a bunch of Christians going home.
Oh, that's awesome. Pastor Shep is incredible. He's incredible. He does great work. And he really is out in the community, which is what I love about him. But thank you for sharing that. And okay, Rufus, now your turn.
First of all, I want to let the brother know that I feel bad because I didn't finish that book. And I know I started it, and it's a lot of wisdom and knowledge in that book, and I need to finish that book. And the next time I talk to him, I'm gonna have a lot to say about that book for sure. Because I you know, once I set it down, life happens, like you say, and then you know, I never picked it back up. But I will, because every time I hear the brother speak, you want more. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And it's in that book for sure. And I saw it.
Condoning nobody, brother.
Condemning nobody at all, no.
Condemning nobody.
What did you say?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
He was saying he wasn't condemning nobody, and I know you don't feel that way. You just wanted to make your point.
Right. And
yes.
but that's I appreciate everybody, you know, your input and everybody's input, and I appreciate the conversation today. And we'll be there next week, Noreen. We'll
Good. And you know what, and I want to say this too. You know, I appreciate you for being open and vulnerable. See, we all learn from each other. And by you being willing to be vulnerable and expose your situation, I'm sure somebody, whether it's in this room, on this Zoom, or who will watch this later, will get some insight into that situation and how it can go and what it can mean. Because a lot of times we're too close to the forest to see the trees. And so it's just great that you were willing to share that with us. And I really appreciate that. Thank you. Mr. Hall?
Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a good exchange between you, Rufus, and my man, because I learned so much within that exchange. It was crazy. Because at first I was siding with Rufus, and then as the conversation kept going, I was like, nah, you know, she made a good point on that, and he made a good point on it too. So, I mean, just having this conversation was very good because I was able to learn a lot out of it.
Wonderful. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Ms. Di?
I enjoyed the topic for tonight. I really did, about choices, because that's what life is all about, the choices that you make for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that you got to live with them. Terrell?
And you have to face them.
Yep. Terrell?
I'm just thankful that I made the choice to come here tonight, and I'm gonna keep coming. And we're gonna try to make sure that everybody that comes in this space has a book. So we're gonna make it happen.
Wonderful. Madam, final comments?
Yes, I definitely too appreciate the group, and choices are for everyone.
Wonderful. Ma'am?
Glad to be back, and
Darling?
This was a great topic, and congratulations to the brother that just got out. Some moved to life who just got out.
Well, they all was at pretty
No,
much.
someone just got out, right? No?
Not tonight.
I don't know.
My bad, I apologize.
No problem. But listen, so I just want to say that I am, or maybe you're talking about Armando just been out 6 months. Is that what you heard?
Yeah.
Okay, so she was welcoming you home. So I want to thank Terrell for coming and going through the book with us. And now you see why I wanted you to do it, right? You see how relevant it is, right? That when you do that once a month, we could pick a topic and we'll go through the book, and then it's going to inspire somebody to pick it up that hadn't done it yet. Because like Rufus said, life begins to happen, and then you moving and shaking and doing what you got to do. So I'm just grateful for this opportunity and for us to have this conversation. I'm grateful that we have this platform and that we can get together. And I learn something new all the time in talking to you guys. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you next week on Free to Heal. Have a good day, everybody. Good night.
Bye, family.
All right.